just so that if you get stuck tonight, you'll have a little bit of time to look over that. We're doing really good on time. So we're going to go through a couple of these, and then I'm going to give you time to work on a few on your own to kind of come up with any questions that you have for me, and hopefully go out with less homework than usual. Now, obviously, just like we've done on every other day, these have added a couple more variables than what we saw during the notes. But again, nothing's changing. So I want to just walk through it. I've used this assignment every year when I teach this lesson, and I kind of add in the different ones. And I will say, this is the one that people struggle with the most. So if you're having questions, I want you to ask them. I promise you, I'm not worried about your questions. I just want to help you.
So did you finish the rest of the assignment?
Yes, sir. All right, cool. Everybody good there?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to start with 31. Now, I'm going to break this up super detailed. I'm going to break it up. I want you to at least break down number 1 with me so you can understand the entire process. What number is underneath my 4? 1. So we all agree that I have 4 over 1. Okay, I'm going to multiply that by x over what?
1.
Good. Is everybody okay with that first step? Mm-hmm. And then this next one I'm going to have y squared over y. So all I did was I literally just broke up everything on the top. 4 is over 1 because there's no other number beneath it. X is over 1 because there's no other x's beneath it. Because I have a y above a y, that's where my subtraction is going to have to take place. Okay? Are we okay with that so far?
Yeah.
I basically just put them in like terms. We're going to end up with 4x, because 4 and x we don't need to do anything to. What do I have to do with my y's? Raise your hand, don't shout it out for me. What do I have to do with those y's? Steven?
You have to subtract the
Yeah, so I'm going to do 2 minus 1, which gives me y to the what? There's your answer. 4xy. Yes, Connor?
Wouldn't you put it all over y?
Put it all over y? Why would we put it over y?
Because the denominator is 1.
So that's what we're doing over here. We're doing 2 minus 1, because there's 1y right here. And 2 minus 1 just gives me 1y. We always put our values up top. And since it's not a negative, we can just leave it alone. Stone, what's that?
For your answer, you know how you got 4xy?
Uh-huh.
Would you like put a 1 below it for like a fraction?
You could if you wanted, but anything divided by 1 doesn't change the value. So there's no need to. But if you wanted to, you could.
Okay.
We're good there?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to 32. 4 over what? 2, good. Times 1 over x, good. Times y to the 4th over y to the 2nd. Okay, before we move on at all, do you understand why I broke it up the way I did? Yes, Carter?
How do you get 1 over x?
Because there's an x in the bottom right here, and so therefore I have to include the x. But there has to be another number above it, and so there has to be at least that 1 value over the top of it. So like if I covered it up, if I just said this, how would you explain to me the denominator of x? You have to have something in your numerator, and 1 is the easiest, simplest term. Yes?
So you can never put like x under y or y below?
Well, you could. Like it's actually in the problem right here, but that doesn't help you because, like I said at the beginning of this lesson, you have to have the same basis to subtract. So if you had y to the 4th over x, you literally can't do anything because we might have potato over squash, and therefore, like, you can't compare those two. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so 4 divided by 2 is what?
2.
2 over 1, if we want to just get really technical. Can I do anything to the 1 over x?
No.
Don't have a negative value, so like let's just leave it as 1 over x. Or with my y's, same base as Ian, 4 and 2, so I'm going to subtract them, which is going to give me y squared over what?
1.
Over 1. Now, from this point, whenever we're multiplying fractions, it's just top times top, bottom times bottom. 2 times 1 is? 2 times y squared is?
Two y squared.
2y squared. 1 times x is x or 1x. 1x times 1 is 1 or x or 1. There's your answer. 2y squared over x. Yes, Ryan?
Why did you convert the y to a one?
Why did I convert the y? Why did I put it over 1?
Yeah.
Unnecessarily, just to show you that there is still something underneath it, and to make all of these have a numerator and a denominator. I could have very easily wrote it this way, Ryan, and it would have been the same thing, but doesn't that just look a little bit less like balanced out? And so I'm just trying to show you how it all forms one fraction together. That's all it is. I'm probably doing more than you need, but with it being day 1 of this lesson, I want to make sure that you see all the steps. Okay. Starting to kind of get a feel for it. Okay, we got about, 11 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and end the lesson today. And I want you to use the rest of this time. I'm going to take grades up for last night's homework, and then I'll be moving around the room to answer any questions I can for you. Sound fair? All right, awesome.